Hey Ed, we got a leak in the basement from the shower in the office at Sancola. Hey guys, I'm Jason. I'm a Los Angeles contractor and developer, and this is Buy, Build, Sell. If you aren't a fan already, it's because you haven't watched any episodes. If you go ahead and press subscribe, you'll be notified anytime there's a new video that comes up. Press that little bell, it'll let you know. If you like this video, make sure you press that like button. Today's video, we are talking about home inspection. Yes, we're finally getting to the buying stage of my videos. As you know, the show is called Buy, Build, Sell, and I walk you through the process of buying homes, building homes, and selling homes. That's all I do every day. Finally, today we are going through the sell. Today we did our home inspections, and I'm gonna go through with you what's important to inspect, why we should inspect it, and the whole process of doing it as well. You ready? Come on by. Let me turn off the music in the house first. So, as we know, when buying a home, it's super important that you put offers in and you have contingency periods. Sometimes people need contingency periods for inspections. Sometimes they need it for loan approvals. Sometimes they need it because they need to sell their house before they can get into the new house. There's a whole bunch of reasons that you would ask for a contingency period. The most common things that happen during a contingency period is home inspections and lender approvals. And those are probably the two things that are most common for the loan to purchase a home. One of the most annoying things, but the most critical things, for me at least, is getting those home inspection reports, because that one tells me where I need to fix something and what I need to do better on the next house, and making sure that my house that I built is in the exact order it needs to be in for someone to move in there and have it move in ready. Those home inspection reports are really, really important. Now, they've caused some issues in the past where sometimes an inspector won't know exactly what they're referring to or won't know what they're talking about, and can cause some friction between the seller and the buyer. The issue is that these inspectors aren't actually in the field working. They're just there testing things. So when they're missing a gap in knowledge, they sometimes can't reiterate what needs to happen for you. I'm not saying it's for anyone in particular, especially not in this case. Here's the important things to check when buying a home, and make sure that your home inspector does this for you, okay? You ready? Let's go. Okay, first thing you need to do is you need to have somebody inspect the fireplace. Fireplaces are probably the most common thing that have something wrong. A vent not connected right, gas valve not open. There's so many things that could potentially go wrong with them. Wires touching them, insulation touching them. It's really important to make sure that somebody is inspecting those to make sure that they're properly installed, properly working, giving education to the buyers to make sure that they know how these things work. I once had a homeowner pile in more rocks than came with the factory settings, and because of that, it took a long time for the gas to ignite. And when it would ignite, it almost exploded the whole entire box. So I mean, little things like that, learning that information, really important, okay? The second thing that they're gonna wanna do is test all the outlets, test all the lights, check all the doors and windows. Make sure everything locks, make sure everything closes, make sure everything opens and closes nicely. All the drawers work, all the sinks work, drains work, showers work, all the switches work, low voltage systems work, speakers work. Ed, help me out here.
I think you can break it into two categories. One is the critical mechanical systems in the house, and then there's the aesthetic finishes in the house as well. You want all mechanical, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, air conditioning systems to be fully operational and set up properly all the way through. From the units outside to where they penetrate into the home, make sure there's no water seepage potentially into the home, and to make sure that they're sitting on strong boxes and strong foundation or framing, and all the way down into the home where they connect in and make, like Jason said before, all the connections are sound, things are well insulated. You have areas where the insulation is not on there, the air can get hot and basically ruins the efficiency of the units. Same for the attic insulation and any other important parts. And then same thing with the mechanical, electrical, plumbing. You need to make sure all connections are sound, the gas is sound, and things are in the right places so they don't get crushed and they don't get damaged, and things are done well.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, sure.
So like he said, all those mechanical issues need to be taken care of, need to be checked. Really simple things that you wouldn't think are a big deal are a big deal. Making sure everything works, making sure everything opens. You wouldn't believe it, but sometimes things just don't work. A fridge like this could not be plugged in and it just wouldn't work. You would never know unless you had somebody checking it. Checking all of these and hitting them on. Not only can we cook a quesadilla, at least now we know we can cook one. The homeowner normally is not gonna go through and check these small details. They're already assuming it works, but sometimes you just don't know. It could actually not be working appropriately. Windows, you would assume they work normally, but sometimes a piece could be missing, a hardware could be missing, and it won't close all the way, it won't seal correctly. So all of these things are really important to check for, and hiring someone to do that for you is really important. Checking under sinks is a big thing to do. I've talked long-winded, talked your ear off. Ed's also said a bunch of stuff that makes a lot of sense. We have to make sure we're checking those things. But the major things we gotta check are pretty much outside. Let me show you. Now, I don't know how the rest of the world does it, or in fact, the rest of the country does it, but here in California, we got our electrical panel. That needs to be open. You're gonna check to make sure all of these breakers are switched on, that nothing is tripped. You know something is tripped if it's in the middle or it's completely off. And then not only do they check this panel, they remove this gray piece and they check behind it to make sure that there's no cross wiring or anything of that nature. You just never know what could be hiding underneath there. Second things are like this. This right here is the vent for the fireplace. That needs to be checked to make sure that there's enough clearance and no air is gonna be caught or swept back into the fireplace. But everything is always going out and there's no intrusions or issues with this section. Obviously making sure the hot water is in the house. This house has 2 tankless water heaters, and you have to make sure that they're working, they're appropriately connected, and that hot water is going throughout the house so that you're getting it where it needs to be. This right here is a little cool feature that this has nothing to do with inspections, but this catches all that extra air that's in your water lines. Make sure that you're not getting that popping sound in your plumbing. Pretty cool piece. This right here is the irrigation to your home. This is the control panel for the irrigation. So you have to make sure that that's set, that it's programmed, that it's actually working, and making sure that your lawn is being taken care of. Because you'll buy the house, you won't even think about taking care of the grass. You just assume it's done. But someone checks it for you to make sure that it is done. All right, so in the basement, there's a requirement for egress. And what egress is being able to, there you go. I don't know how to open these windows. There you go. Egress means being able to get in and out of a building. The requirement is that in case there's ever an emergency, somebody can, in this room, can hop out of here, get through this window, and up these stairs, and out to the exit of the home. Check it out. So obviously in every movie theater, we try to put in some sort of sound absorbing material to make sure that the sound that when you're playing these movie theaters, the speaker system is a little bit better than all the other speakers in the home. So you really want to make sure that you're not making so much noise throughout the rest of the house and that the noise is staying inside this room, not everywhere else. People watching the movie are in the movie theater, not in the kitchen. Turn it on the whole house.
Welcome to Smart Home.
You know you love that sound, right?
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead, turn it back on and we'll go down. You know what though, this one was leaking right there, maybe that's it. I think this is the shower that's gonna drip out the bottom of there. Or like the fixture's leaking in the wall. I got a picture of water running down the wall and I think it was this bathroom. Leave it on, we'll go downstairs and see. All right.
Let's go check this out.
You want it off? There's the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
See anything?
Is that
Coming down, so it's the shower. Okay, that explains it. So, all right, I'll shut it off.
We got a leak in the house. Pretty unusual. I've never had this happen. It can happen. Life can throw you lemons sometimes. So the likelihood is that in that shower pan, we'll go check that out. There might be the waterproofing underneath the tile might be bad, might have been cracked, it might have been broken, or there's somehow the water is getting through something else, or there could be a break in the pipe. It's a lot of water, so I feel like it might be a break in the pipe because it's very unusual for there to be an issue with the waterproofing membrane itself.
Is that a pretty hard fix, or is it something you could kind of take care of?
No, we'll break this drywall, we'll make sure that everything's connected appropriately, fix it, back to being all good.
Your lighting looks great, though.
Hey Ed, we got a leak in the basement from the shower in the office at Sancola. We got to get Mario over here. We got to rip open the drywall, repair the pipe, and hopefully it's the pipe that's broken and not the waterproofing. All right, but please get that on schedule. We'll get that taken care of tomorrow. This has nothing to do with it being in a basement. This just happens to be an unfortunate series of events here. We'll fix it. We'll get it done. The JJP promise. I miss anything or you have any questions about the things that I spoke about, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. I answer all comments and I make sure I get to everybody. It would mean the world to me if I saw a comment from you, if I knew that you liked the video, and I knew that you subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
That was either the door or my stomach.